is transparent. Take it away.
Yes, good morning to you, Chris. You know, this is NITA, National Information Technology Authority, Uganda. It's located here in Lugogo, but I'm here to understand the issues of internet connectivity and expansion, because government and private sector want to ease business, but also this is coming with some challenges, especially when you look at the connectivity, the penetration of internet across the country. And there are also other issues that are of concern to the people. Recently we saw an issue that happened with the banking sector, where some people were able to swindle money using these online platforms. But let me speak to Dr. Hatwib Mugasa. He's the Executive Director of NITA. Good morning to you, Doctor.
Good morning, and thank you for having me.
Welcome. And let's begin it right away. From NITA, where you stand, how is the internet penetration across the country? You have over 130 districts. How are we doing for now so far?
Yes, thank you. We have 134 districts, but out of those 134, we are able to connect close to about 60 districts with the fiber optic cable. This is a government high-speed internet connectivity. We connected the district, mainly the headquarters within the districts. So the fiber optic cable is a district-to-district cable for internet. But 60, I would say by end of this month it will be 60 districts, but 134, that's less than 50% of the districts that need to be connected. But that, having said that, we have a plan to connect all the 134 districts. We recently got approved to...
So you're almost halfway?
Yes, we're almost halfway. But in the next 5 years, we'll be 100%. 100% will go to all the districts in Uganda. So that plan is funded by two sources of funding. There's one from the World Bank, and we term it as Uganda Digital Acceleration Project. Yeah. And then the second one is a Chinese project, the NBI Phase 5.
Where you've been able to move this over 60, halfway, where you've been able to move, how is it moving so far? Because we always talk about hard-to-reach areas, and this internet connectivity is going to also make it close the gaps. How is it moving so far? How are the services where internet has been already established?
As with supply bulk internet, if you are in the business of internet, there's the retail and there's the bulk. We supply high-speed bulk internet all the way from the undersea cable. So the people who connect to the NBI or the NITA cable have the fastest internet in the country. It's the fastest and the cheapest. Yes, the cost of internet is high in Africa, and especially in Uganda, within Africa, but the NBI internet is the cheapest in Uganda. It's $70 for 1 megabyte per second per month for the bulk internet, and it's compared to if you are to use a private supplier, the private supplier charges about $280 for 1 megabyte per second per month. But we also subsidize in some instances, like for the BPOs, the business process outsourcing centers, the tourism. There's some sectors where we have gone there to subsidize and even reduce the prices. Education, we supply to one of the internet service providers, Renu. We supply them half the price of what we're giving for other agencies.
You know, when you move to some of these agencies or even private sector, you find that you have to move so many documentation. The documentation you have to have either a passport or national ID, you have a letter from the LC. This where we are moving. Should we still continue moving all this documentation? For example, when you come from Kabalagala where I stay, can't we have that ease of business that when I move to Ministry of Lands, I'm going to process land issues, land titles. How far will it take for us to have digitalized government, intergovernment agencies moving together online?
Yes. Now, what we have done is we have put up a foundation for internet services. The foundation is that backbone. Another foundation is a data center. Then there are systems. On top of the systems, we provide solutions. Those solutions are not going to answer those questions of moving around with paper. Internet is supposed to make life simple for the ordinary citizen, but you should not be internet savvy, or you should not be, even the uneducated should benefit from internet. An example is procurement. We have so many people doing procurement within government, but you have to run around to get those procurement documents from one office to another. We have transformed that process into a digital process. So at least if you have some knowledge of a computer, you can log onto the procurement website for government, the EGP, uganda.go.ug, and then you participate in any procurement that government has put out there.
You know, when you talked about knowledge of internet, when you look at literacy levels in Uganda, and we are moving digital, especially when you went through COVID-19, people learned that yes, you can still do business, you can still do work with your internet, with your phone, with your computer, wherever you are. But when you look at the literacy levels, they're still low. How will you ensure, as NITA, you make sure that yes, as people within government, within private sector, wherever they are, schools, health centers, are able to use this service, you're extending to them when you know that people are still computer literate?
Yes, one of our work here at the National IT Authority is to spread awareness of how to use internet respectfully, and also with the knowledge of its risk if it's misused. So we are spreading awareness with the support from the Ministry of ICT and National Guidance. We have also a training center, an information access center, where we can house people who want to learn. We have been doing that with schools. There's a time when the education sector had shut down. So some schools came to us and we trained them on how to educate the learners online.
As we move digital across the country, in these over 134, you said 34 districts, we also see a challenge. Many people are losing jobs. Others are also trying to find it hard because they are losing either money, for example, those who are losing money on mobile money. Others are also losing it through the banks. This is also, they are also using online to swindle the money. This is also part of the challenge that is also coming with the internet penetration across the country. How will that be addressed by also the agencies? I know the police should also be coming on board, but how should this be tackled by the government authorities, but also within the private sector?
Yes, thank you. Those are two questions in one. I'll answer the first. You are losing money through your employment, the jobs are getting taken up by this technology. That is a wrong perception. Actually, technology introduces new opportunities. If we look at the previous industrial revolutions, the first, second, and third revolution, there were jobs that were swept and made obsolete because of that change. Now, the fourth revolution, which is mainly focused on artificial intelligence, machine learning, Internet of Things, is, yes, true, going to take away some jobs, but it's going to produce new jobs. It's going to create new opportunities. So it's not ideally making people jobless. It's transforming them to that new and efficient way of working.
I want to go for a commercial break, but I want to understand the Yugi Hub as wind up. What's the Yugi Hub? I've heard about it, and it's being driven by NITA.
Yes.
What is it intending to do or to get?
The Yugi Hub is a government system that connects all other systems together. Previously, people would have a system in their agency, or an agency would have a system within, but to provide services to a citizen, that citizen has to walk to another government agency to get another service, and they have to move almost like 3 or 4 offices to just get one service from government. So what we have said is, these systems can talk to each other. We don't have to get people moving from one place to another. An example is if you are applying for a passport, they tell you go for your national ID. National ID, go to the LC to get an. All those places have systems, mature systems. What we're saying, let's connect them, and then we have only one point of contact, one service center where a citizen can go and get all of government services at one point. That is UG Hub.
Thank you, Dr. Hatwib Mugasa, the Executive Director, NITA, National Information Technology Authority, Uganda. As you drive the IT revolution, we shall be keeping eyes on you, especially now that you have that 5-year plan of trying to see that the 134 districts have internet connectivity. And this is what everyone would be aspiring to get as a business person, as an individual, as the government. Back to you, Chris Hideni, in the studios.